Good morning, students. Lesson 6 Nuclear Physics. Topic Nuclear Fission. Page number 78 to 80. In today's class, you will learn about nuclear fission, fissionable material, chain reaction, controlled chain reaction, uncontrolled chain reaction, critical mass, autobomb. In last class, we have learned about alpha, beta, and gamma rays. When a radioactive nucleus undergoes radioactivity, it emits harmful radiations. These radiations are usually comprised of any of the three types of particles. They are alpha radiation, beta radiation, it's a high energy electron, and gamma radiation, it is a high energy electromagnetic photon. Next, properties of alpha, beta, and gamma rays. Alpha rays, it's a helium nucleus, 2He4. It consisting of 2 protons and 2 neutrons. Beta rays, they are electrons, -1 E0, basic elementary particles in all atoms. Then what about gamma rays? They are electromagnetic waves. Then charge of alpha rays plus 2E. Beta rays minus E, negatively charged particles. Then gamma rays, neutral particles. Charge of each gamma particle is equal to 0. Then what is the ionizing power? Alpha rays 100 times greater than beta rays and 10,000 times greater than gamma rays. Beta rays comparatively low ionizing power. Then gamma rays very less ionization power. Then penetrating power of alpha rays contain low, even stopped by a thick paper. Penetrating power is greater than that of alpha rays. They can penetrate through a thin metal foil for beta rays. For gamma rays, they have a very high penetrating power greater than of beta rays. They can penetrate through a thick metal blocks. Effect of electric and magnetic field. Alpha rays deflected by both electric and magnetic field. Then beta rays deflected by the both of fields, but the direction of deflection is opposite to alpha rays. Gamma rays are not deflected by both the fields. Speed of alpha ranges from 1 by 10 to 1 by 20 times the speed of light. Beta rays speed can go up to 9 by 10 times the speed of light. Then they travel with the speed of light for gamma rays. Then radioactive displacement law. 1913, Soddy and Fagin framed the displacement laws governing the daughter nucleus produced during an alpha and beta decay. The first law, when a radioactive element emits an alpha particle, a daughter nucleus is formed whose mass number is less by 4 units and the atomic number is less by 2 units than the mass number and atomic number of the parent nucleus. We know about mass number, the sum of protons and neutrons in a nucleus. Mass number equal to number of protons plus number of neutrons. What is atomic number? The number of protons in the nucleus of an atom is atomic number Z. Atomic number is equal to number of protons or number of electrons. The second law, when a radioactive element emits beta particle, a daughter nucleus is formed whose mass number is the same but the atomic number is more by 1 unit than the atomic number of the parent nucleus. Alpha decay, a nuclear reaction in which an unstable parent nucleus emits an alpha particle and forms a stable daughter nucleus is called alpha decay. So 92 uranium 238 is a parent nucleus. It emits a alpha particle. So alpha particle means we know 2He4 helium nucleus. It emitted helium and it changed to 90 thorium 234. It is a daughter nucleus. During alpha decay, 2He4 helium nucleus is emitted. Example, decay of uranium 238 to thorium Th234 with the emission of alpha particle. In alpha decay, the parent nucleus emits an alpha particle. So, it is clear for the daughter nucleus, the mass number decreases by 4 and the atomic number decreases by 2. Beta decay, a nuclear reaction in which an unstable parent nucleus emits beta particle and forms a stable daughter nucleus is called a beta decay. Example, beta decay of phosphorus. So phosphorus emitted the beta particle and changed to 16 sulfur 32. In beta decay, there is no change in the mass number 32, here also 32. But the atomic number is increases by 1, that means 15 plus 1, 16. In a nuclear reaction, the element formed as the product nucleus is identified the atomic number of the resulting nucleus and not by its mass number. Next, gamma decay. In a gamma decay, only the energy level of the nucleus changes. The atomic number and mass number of the radioactive nucleus remains the same. Next, nuclear fission. In 1939, German scientists Otto Hahn and S. Strassmann discovered that when a uranium nucleus is bombarded with a neutron, it breaks up into two smaller nuclei of comparable mass along with the emission of few neutrons and energy. What is here bombarded? Bombarded means attack or direct a stream of high-speed particles. A uranium nucleus is bombarded, attacked with a neutron means it breaks up into two smaller nuclei. Nuclei means it's a plural form of nucleus. It emitted the neutrons and energy. So emission means released or emitted. What is neutron? It is a subatomic particle of about the same mass of a proton but without an electric charge, present in all atomic nuclei except those of ordinary hydrogen. What is nuclear fission? Process of breaking or splitting up of a heavier nucleus. 92 uranium 235 is a heavier nucleus. It splitted into two smaller nuclei, barium and krypton. 56 barium 141 plus 36 krypton 92 with a large amount of energy. Q is the energy and a few neutrons. So here we get 3 neutrons. It's called nuclear fission. Nuclear fission of uranium nucleus is given. So a heavier nucleus is bombarded with the neutron means we get two lighter nucleus, barium and krypton with the 3 neutrons and some amount of energy. See the diagram. 92 uranium bombarded with the neutron means it splitted into two lighter nuclei, 56 barium 141 and 36 krypton 92 with 3 neutrons and large amount of energy, 200 million electron volt MeV. The average energy released in each fission process is about 3.2 into 10 power minus 11 joules. SI unit of energy is joule. So we measured in joules format. 3.2 into 10 power minus 11 joules average energy released in each fission process. Next topic, fissionable material. A fissionable material is a radioactive element which undergoes fission in a sustained manner. Sustained means continuing for an extended period or without interruption. When it absorbs a neutron, it is also termed as fissile material. Fissile material is a material capable of sustaining a nuclear fission chain reaction. There is a continuous reaction process with the help of that fissile material. Examples: uranium 235, plutonium 239 and plutonium 241. All isotopes of uranium do not undergo nuclear fission when they absorb a neutron. Isotope contain same number of protons but a different number of neutrons in each atom. For example, natural uranium consists of 99.28% of 92 uranium 238 and 0.72% below than 1% of 92 uranium 235. Of these two, uranium 238 does not undergo fission, whereas 235 undergoes fission. Hence, 235 is a fissionable material and 238 is non-fissionable. There are some radioactive elements which can be converted into fissionable material. They are called fertile materials. Fertile means it's a term used to describe an isotope that is not itself fissile. It cannot simply undergo fission by thermal neutrons, but can be converted into a fissile material through a irradiation in a nuclear reactor. Examples: uranium 238, thorium 232 and plutonium 240. So these are called fertile materials. And the next topic, chain reaction. The uranium nucleus U-235 when bombarded or attacked with a neutron undergoes fission producing 3 neutrons. In that fission reaction we get 3 neutrons. These 3 neutrons in turn can cause fission in 3 other uranium nuclei present in the sample, thus producing 9 neutrons. So first cycle we get 3 neutrons, second 3 into 3, 9 neutrons, and the third cycle 9 into 3 we get 27 neutrons. So this is known as chain reactions. A chain reaction is a self-propagating process in which the number of neutrons goes and multiplying rapidly almost in a geometrical progression. Two kinds of chain reactions are possible. They are controlled chain reaction. Controlled means it's having been limited. And the second type, uncontrolled chain reaction. So first we will see about controlled chain reaction. In the controlled chain reaction, the number of neutrons released is maintained to 1. For example, we will get 2 neutrons means we observe the 1 neutron. So this is achieved by observing the extra neutrons with the neutron observer. So it observes the other unwanted neutrons and leaving only 1 neutron to the fission reactions. The reaction is sustained in a controlled manner. The energy released due to the controlled chain reactions can be utilized for constructive purposes. Controlled chain reaction is used in a nuclear reactor. That line is very important. Nuclear reactor to produce energy in a sustained and controlled manner. Then next type, uncontrolled chain reaction. In the uncontrolled chain reaction, the number of neutrons multiplies indefinitely and causes fission in a large amount of the fissile material. Indefinitely means unlimited. Okay. See, in the first cycle, we get 3 neutrons. These 3 neutrons react with the radioactive element, means we get 9 neutrons. Then 9 react with each uranium nucleus, means we get 27. So it is a uncontrolled chain reaction. This results in the release of a huge amount of energy within a fraction of a second. In a fraction of a second, we will get large amount of energy. The next one, critical mass. During a nuclear fission process, about 2 to 3 neutrons are released. But all these 3 neutrons may not be available to produce further fission. Some of them may escape from the system, which is termed as leakage of neutrons, and some may be absorbed by non-fissionable materials present in the system. These two factors lead the loss of neutrons. To sustain the chain reaction, that means chain reaction is possible when the rate of production of neutrons due to nuclear fission must be more than the rate of its loss. We compare the production with loss, means production of neutrons is more than loss. It is easy to sustain the chain reaction. This can be achieved only when the size, that means mass, of the fissionable material is equal to a certain optimum value. So optimum means it's favorable. Okay. So this is known as critical mass. Critical mass means the minimum mass of a fissile material necessary to sustain the chain reaction is called critical mass, MC. It depends on the nature, density and size of the fissile material. So MC, it indicates critical mass, the minimum mass of a fissile material required to continue the chain reaction. If the mass of the fissile material is less than the critical mass, it is termed as subcritical. But the mass of the fissile material is more than the critical mass, more than MC, means it is termed as supercritical. Then the next topic, autobomb. The autobomb is based on the principle of uncontrolled chain reaction. So we already know about uncontrolled chain reaction. The number of neutrons multiplies indefinitely and causes fission in a large amount of the fissile material. This results the release of huge amount of energy in a fraction of a second. In an uncontrolled chain reaction, the number of neutrons and the number of fission reactions multiply almost in a geometrical progression. So this releases a huge amount of energy in a very small time interval and leads to an explosion. Explosion means Vedipu. Structure of autobomb. An autobomb consists of a piece of fissile material whose mass is subcritical. What is subcritical? The mass of the fissile material is less than the critical mass. It is termed as subcritical. So this piece has a cylindrical void. Cylindrical void means that inner side is empty. It has a cylindrical fissile material which can fit into this void, and its mass is also subcritical. So this is the conventional explosive, and it contains hollow uranium bullet. It's a gun barrel, then cylindrical target. Okay. When the bomb has to be exploded, this cylinder is injected into the void using a conventional explosive. Now, the two pieces of fissile material is joined to form the supercritical mass. So, subcritical mass is changed to supercritical. Supercritical means the mass of the fissile material is more than the critical mass. So when the two pieces of fissile material join, at that time the mass is compared with the critical mass, means it is more. So in supercritical mass, which leads to an explosion. During this explosion, tremendous amount of energy in the format of heat or light and radiation is released. The region of very high temperature and pressure is formed in a fraction of second due to the uncontrolled chain reaction with the emission of hazardous radiations like gamma rays, which is adversely affect the living creatures. This type of atom bombs were exploded in 1945 at Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan during the World War II. Electron volt eV is the unit used in nuclear physics to measure the energy of small particles. It is nothing but the energy of one electron when it is oscillated using an electric potential of 1 volt. So 1 electron volt is equal to 1.602 into 10 power minus 19 joule. 1 million electron volt means 1 MeV. 10 power 6 eV, mega electron volt. The energy released in a nuclear fission process is about 200 MeV. Today class, you studied nuclear fission. Nuclear fission means it's a process of breaking a heavier nucleus into two smaller nuclei with the release of large amount of energy and few neutrons is called nuclear fission. Example, nuclear fission of uranium nucleus. So uranium 235 bombarded with neutron means we get two lighter nuclei, barium and krypton, with 3 neutrons and a large amount of energy. This energy is equal to 3.2 into 10 power minus 11 joules. Next, fissionable material. Fissionable material is a radioactive element which undergoes fission in a sustained manner when it absorbs a neutron. It is also termed as fissile material. Example, uranium 235, plutonium 239 and plutonium 241. Then we studied about fertile materials. Some radioactive elements which can be converted into fissionable material. They are called fertile materials. There are some examples for fertile materials: uranium 238, thorium 232 and plutonium 240. Then next topic, chain reaction. A chain reaction is a self-propagating process in which the number of neutrons goes on multiplying rapidly almost in a geometrical progression. Chain reaction contain two types: controlled chain reaction and uncontrolled chain reaction. In the controlled chain reaction, the number of neutrons released is maintained to be 1. For uncontrolled chain reaction, the number of neutrons multiplies indefinitely and causes fission in a large amount of the fissile material. This results the large amount of energy within a fraction of second. The next one, critical mass. The minimum mass of a fissile material necessary to sustain the chain reaction is called critical mass. It is indicated by Mc. Critical mass depends on the three factors: density, size and nature of the fissile material. Then we studied about subcritical, supercritical. What is subcritical? If the mass of the fissile material is less than the critical mass, means subcritical. If the mass of the fissile material is more than the critical mass, means it is supercritical. Then the last topic, autobomb. Autobomb is based on the principle of uncontrolled chain reaction. So the explosion of autobomb releases a huge amount of energy in a very small time interval. Then electron volt is the unit used in nuclear physics to measure the energy of small particles. 1 electron volt is equal to 1.602 into 10 power minus 19 joule. 1 million electron volt is equal to 1 mega electron volt. MeV, that means 10 power 6 electron volt. The energy released in a nuclear fission process is about 200 MeV. Thank you, students.